You're ready for that Hawk Tua moment, right? Hey, so what's the thing to do to keep a guy around? You spit on the thing, right? One of us is going to get famous, the other one isn't. You know, that's about the way that goes. So, I want to tell you now, there is an opportunity. It's going to be a little ways off where I could use something like this in my town. My town thinks that it wants to become a tourist destination because that's where the money is. You got to do everything you can down to drive taxes, don't you? You know, forget about this is a quiet place to live and that's why it's nice. It's more about how can we increase revenue? Everything has to become a resort. I live in a place where there are no hotels because everybody that visits has everybody you visit it where in my town has a room or two or a guest floor. There's no reason for a hotel, but nope, let's build a beach. A private beach. And then I guess I could do a little bit of man on the street at the beach, right? You know, get this out and say, hey, we're doing man on the street stuff like the popular channels. I mean, it could be a thing. It's going to be a little before this happens. By the way, that is a video I'm getting to. I'm calling it Death of a Small Town. Tentative title. How are we doing? Teddy Belcher 4K ultra wide. Microphone Tetris not free with Switch 2. Microphone Tetris. Are you saying my microphone sounds like Tetris? I can't tell. Hello, says Eric. Green Bay can't even run an event NFL season, but your town has events. Green Bay might actually have a smaller population than my town of Wichita. It's a possibility. I know this is kind of in the way of my... Man, I don't want to mess with that. That is a perfect spot for my lights, but here I go. Because now I was thinking about doing some video apps. Oh boy. Because it's been a little while since I've shot proper video. Man, this is really messing with things, isn't it? Now that looks a little, honestly, it looks a little bit better, but yeah. I was hoping that updated YouTube did all the shit. I've got the best Wi-Fi in the game. I have fiber internet. This should look pretty good. I say should, but I mean, we know the truth, right? Maybe if I move here. Guys, what am I drinking today? What do you think it is? It is Rockstar Diet or sugar-free. They never call any of these energy drinks dumb, do they? They never can jump that far, can they? It's always sugar-free. It's be chicken, right? We don't want to say fried. We don't want to use the D word. We don't want to use the D word. No, my town thinks that it wants to become some kind of tourist spot in some area. So they'll float out these ideas. Somebody will run off with the money. Typically the way that goes down in the Midwest. Hey, here's a great idea. Wild West world. Amusement park. Give us all the money. Okay, bye. It happened. It happened in Wichita. It really did. I am strongly considering getting the Switch 2. Maybe the burnout feeling I'm getting with games is because it's the Xbox game. You know, like I say, Bethesda really makes one game. They just change the setting and the protagonist. It's Wolfenstein 3D, but now we're calling it Doom. Now there's a few little more fetch quests and it's in space. And it's like we do the same shit all the time. Oh, okay, what are we going on here, Teddy? About leaning on the and applying more pressure than my shoes can grip. Weird flex. I'm about leaning on the wall and applying more pressure. So you're trying to lean until your feet slide out from under you. I don't know if flex is the term I would give for that. It's weird, but maybe not a flex. A weird slide. But yes, the Switch 2. I can free because I have done enough buying of the foods on the Fetch app, filling out survey case study stuff for YouTube and their AI things, And I have enough of these kind of like gift cards. If I knew where I was going to be able to get it, like if I knew Target was going to have Switch 2s available for me to pre-order, I could do that. Now I don't want to go all in on somebody's gift card and then be like, oh wait, that I can get them at. See, that's the issue. So, but I feel like when you pre-order, you're going to have to pay up front, right? I can't just pre-order. Here's my $10 down, and now I come to you with the cash. I don't think that flies. Maybe that's the way it used to be. Call. Is that what they wanted with the Xbox 360? I got my Xbox 360 at Walmart day one. My mom actually waited in line for the midnight drop for me because I was out of town, college stuff. I think she actually had fun doing that. I'll tell you that. But the Switch 2 at $450, it doesn't sound like they're promising much in the way of the visuals and the performance. Word gets out today, a mode of Mario Kart World will have, they didn't say 420 hertz. I was under the impression that 120 hertz at the 1080p resolution of the handheld a game, Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild, Mario, whatever the hell, the first party stuff, handheld on a screen that's 1080p. Give that 1080p to me on that screen with the HDR and the 120 hertz per second, and now we're talking. Now we're playing like the ideal version of those last gen games, along with Mario Kart World, at a spec that seems more powerful instead of low rent specs for the kiddos. And that was intriguing. But now they're saying, oh, a certain mode will give you 120 hertz, 120 frames per second. And what is that, right? Is that stripped down tracks? Is that time trial only? That'll give you 120? If the idea is that this thing can barely lock in 60 frame per second Tears of the Kingdom at 1080p, then, you say, what am I spending my money on? But the truth is, it is to continue playing Nintendo IPs. That's why you buy a Switch. It's for the Nintendo IPs. You don't buy the Switch so that you can play Overwatch 2 on the go. People will make fun of you. What else do we got going on over here? Teddy, when are you going to become a member? You know you're missing out on so much weird shit. I'm getting away with the stuff that I don't think the other guys can get away with. Like, Eric knows. Eric's in the chat. He's talking about. I remember when PS3 blocked YouTube. Now Switch can't eat videos. Oh, really? The Switch, you can't watch YouTube on Switch? I was also thinking about that from the content creator perspective. I don't think Nintendo likes you showing game footage at all. Are they going to change their tune on that? Because how am I supposed to, make the Nintendo content with this device? How is that going to play out? Now, one thing I think is pretty appealing, no achievements, trophies, none of that shit. You play the game the way you want to. Maybe you get some in-game rewards for beating something on the hardest difficulty, but you won't feel locked in to having to gather shit in a game you don't want to play anymore. Nintendo doesn't really have the Game Pass analogous system that allows you to sample a wide breadth of games. So you are going to be kind of locked into, I guess I have to spend $80 to download the new Mario does this thing, whatever. Or I heard Mario Party might be worth a shot. Do you get to rent it? No, you just kind of, here it is. In that system, and also the fact that they actually have games on cards. Now people are like, oh, but it's a key. Oh, but you really supposed to download it, and you can put in the memory thing and all this stuff, right? There's still something nice to think about here in that they have their next gen system. I'm assuming it competes with the PS6 coming around to some degree. But you have Nintendo's next gen system, and it's not all digital. is you can pop a card in. You could borrow a game from a friend or buy one used at GameStop. We're not really sure, and I wouldn't expect that Microsoft or Sony want disk drives in their next system. My disk drive in my Xbox Series X plays my 4K discs. It plays my Blu-ray. Hell, shit, I knocked something over because, well, actually it's magnetic because it's a steelbook. I watched this bad boy, and well, actually it's not Bad Boys, it's Point Break. I watched it tonight. Couldn't watch on an Xbox One, and you damn sure might not be able to on an Xbox Series Z if the case is that they don't, that Microsoft said, you know what, screw letting people buy stuff off the used market. Let's both a secret underground water handshake, no disk drive. Just make everybody buy stuff from our respective store. If we make people buy, they have no choice. And that you can't use it to watch movies, which is a side effect of not having the drive. They don't care about you not watching the disc movies. But by the way, watch this. These are movies that I kind of like unboxed last week, and then I got to watching. Discotech Media has got to be a little bit ashamed of themselves for this one, because this is not a good transfer. Now, it comes across like a badly needing remastering of a DVD in a sense. It doesn't look outright chunky at times, but there is like flicker to it. There is an unsteadiness about it in text, particularly, and I think a lot of that could get worked out. And it is 300D Bloodlust available now in Japan on a new release. That I don't know if anyone's going to get the American rights to do it, or if Discotech Media will come up with a new version. This one I actually saw was going for quite a bit of money in ways on eBay, because it has a slipcover, which I don't have within arm's reach. But it's kind of wild to be like, this is your only option. An earlier Blu-ray. And by earlier, I think it's like 2016. You'd think they'd have their shit together, but instead it is just a dirty picture. And Discotech Media has done some really good work. Good preservation, remastering, taking out the best format of stuff. Maybe their earlier efforts was a little of what could we just straight license. This I watched last night. I watched the first episode. Mega City 2-3, or sorry, Mega Zone 2-3. Trying to go in sight unseen, knowing as little as possible. I thought my impression was it was some OVA collection. I know part 1 and 2 are available streaming, maybe on like Plex, but I don't have part 3, which I think is actually 2 OVAs put together to make a part 3 in a sense. And I thought, well, I don't want to start the franchise and not see how it ends, so I need to get the disc. So this disc actually from Anime Igo, not bad on the quality. Now look, your first episode is from like 1985, so it's not going to be stunning, but I think they do a good representative job of giving you an authentic look at how this should appear. It could be one to say that. I might shoot some kind of short video on this stuff right after this. I haven't written out a lot of script for things. I need to talk about 3 ninjas. I've been dragging my feet. I've actually shot 2 videos on Bubblegum Crisis and have dragged my feet on that. Actually editing that and everything, because the process of getting the video for that on a disc as opposed to 3 Ninjas I can rip straight from my Mac Prime Video. It's just so much simpler. And so it kind of makes it, I'm going to have to watch a lot of stuff on disc and then just sit down and do all, a day's worth of video ripping, I get, or not ripping so much as capturing clips like the hard way. So All right, what do we got here? Random old games changed to 99 players mode is what I'll be missing out on. Yeah, they had a 99 player original Mario Kart. Mario Kart, like old Mario games, to simply make them a battle royale format. There's money in that. I'm kind of, I kind of find that appealing. I do. 99 player Ice Climber, and I don't think I've played Ice Climber. Some of that stuff I didn't realize was as it is, as stupid as this sounds. What's that one with the bubble, the air balloon? I thought when I saw that, I thought, wow, this looks pretty cool. Not realizing it was from the 80s, and I thought it was like from the late 2010 or something like I don't know. Sounds mid. You're saying Megazone 20 Megazone 2.3 sounds mid, or which sounds mid? The sound quality here mid? I don't. So, yeah, that's what I've been watching lately. I have quite a bit of stuff I did try to get the clips of the hard way, and that is holding me up on some things because I was watching I've got Crying Freeman sitting here. That's a bunch of movies put together. I've got sexual assault samurai like 6 movie collection, and I'm just trying to wrap my head around how I'm supposed to actually present that on YouTube. Oh, it goes to the forbidden zone, to the director's cut members only section, for much. But I'm just like, oh man, I've got, what, 10 hours or something of footage to sift through, and it's kind of a lot. So I have to kind of think about how to go about that. My thinking was that I might do a video on for Amazon about early Keanu Reeves, because I actually watched 3 Blu-ray and a 4K, well, 2 Blu-ray and a 4K of early Keanu Reeves stuff. And I think you could make the Point Break really like his first action movie, right? Is it the best parachuting movie? Largely more about the surfing, and then they kind of also do some parachuting, some skydiving. But I have ordered from Vinegar Syndrome 3 movies, and they want a lot for their stuff, and the shipping was expensive. You have to order $100 to get the 3 free shipping. But I got Drone coming, starring Wesley Snipes. And the way I see it, it's kind of like Gary Busey, not pleased with just being the sidekick who gets to stay in the car in Point Break, now becomes the villain in Drop Zone. I don't think it has as authentic of skydiving as it does, because in Point Break you actually have Patrick Swayze skydive. The key cast actually does some surfing. The tricks not so much, but they all had to get used to it. And I think Keanu learned surf for the movie and then became an accomplished surfer. I don't know the accomplished part, but that's kind of what the Wikipedia stuff's saying. So Point Break, I am going to mention this. I feel like Tom Cruise wants to be Patrick Swayze. Like, Patrick Swayze skydives, uncut, you see him jump out the plane, it's for real. Now you have Tom Cruise doing this sort of stuff. Patrick Swayze has Dirty Dancing, and then Tom Cruise is like, kind of comparable to that is, what was it? Rock of Ages. Like, I'll kind of do a musical thing. Not quite like Risky Business, but Patrick Swayze kind of like went to these different genres. And I think Tom Cruise tries to do that to some extent also, to prove he can do the action stunts and things like this. So you have Tom Cruise try to be like Patrick Swayze. Now, if you're wondering why I'm doing the weird phone vertical, it gets the last 2 lives I did under 100 viewers. Total dead. Once they've been uploaded, no looked. And that is not a good trend. I'm coming in with the spicy thumbnails, and people are like, nope, not watching. So I told Grok, hey, draw me, whatever. And it gave me this blockhead a la Minecraft. There was also a Ghibli that didn't look like me. And, it just said 4 pictures of you in a different style. And I'm not intending to watch the Minecraft movie. I'm an Xbox player, but I don't really think that necessarily translates to the Xbox experience. It's more like Microsoft bought them, right? Movie's doing good. It's doing some gangbusters work. I haven't looked up the latest on it, but I believe that they're, in the black. They've made their money. It's walking all over Snow White's like sunken grave at this point. I see people coming in. You got to be like a subscriber for like a minute to chat. That you got to do. I have threatened in the past with legal action to do members only. No one can talk, right? Because who's going to subscribe and pay money, right? So there's that. And the way it's like, okay, you can't come in the room and be a troll. You have to like wait a minute and then you can troll. All right, that's what everybody wants to do, right? So keep some questions coming, guys. We got 8 people watching. 8 people with nothing to do on a Friday. Video I've shot that I'm going to have to edit. I'll mention it. Grand Theft Auto 6. Think about what the days in the lead up aftermath of Grand Theft Auto 6 will be like. No one's going to work. Streets are barren. Everybody's playing Grand Theft Auto 6. What all games are trying to avoid competing with Grand Theft Auto 6 on the release date, but they don't know when it's releasing. So they're like, we're going to have a game in 2020. Let's call it 2026 just in case. Like, that's kind of what they're doing. Would Grand Theft Auto 6 throw in the Switch's plans if it also released in June? Like shorts? I haven't heard anything saying coming to the Switch 2 for GTA 6. If there has been news that it's confirmed to come to Nintendo's next-gen console, let me know in the comments or something, right? Because I haven't heard anything of the such. That'd throw a wrench in their plans. Because a lot of thinking, why would I play anything else when I could be playing Grand Theft Auto 6? And what if it gets to be like bigger than that? Let's not release any movies when we think Grand Theft Auto 6 might come out. Sink the box office. Like we could have this Avatar coming out in the window of Grand Theft Auto 6, and the new Avatar actually underperformed because why go to a movie when you could be playing Grand Theft Auto 6? That's a possibility. I mean, it's something you have to kind of think about here. Will people buy a next-gen console, Grand Theft Auto 6 at a higher frame rate, higher resolution, and then just be like, what else? Why bother with the rest of the PS5 Pro or the rest of the lineup for the Pix? You're not doing a more of Last of Us 3, solid Grand Theft Auto 6, and that could be the case. Now, small devs, we can't beat the sales figures of GTA 6. We'll never have a good report for the shareholders. I guess we're just out of business. We'll just never be able to meet those expectations. Same thing over there at Rockstar. How do we keep beating this high watermark? Well, I guess we gave up at some point. Or have to wait 15 years for a GTA 7. Because they're going to milk this as long as they can. Get those shark cards rolling. The shark cards are what in the black. They could also have, and I've, for funsies, speculated on this, that what if they had an influencer edition of Grand Theft Auto 6, and it could be like $300,000, you play a week ahead of everybody else. Or maybe it's just 3 days. All the people that think they're a badass over on Twitch are going to pay that money so that they can be part of the cool kids. It's part of doing business. Buying the game's early access is part of the business model if you're a Twitch streamer. So I think GTA could get away with it. Is Nintendo doing $80 games, showing a green light there to Rockstar so that Rockstar if they can do 80, we can do 100. Or if GTA 6 is $100 base price, people going to blame Nintendo for that. Like, you guys showed them the way. You showed them how to screw people. Or we're blaming you. Feel free to chat, guys. It's up. It's available. All messages show up. Whatever we talk around here. I have considered trying to get some other people involved. It seems like you have to have, you know, an array of about 8 people who all agree with you and shout over any kind of traction going on a live stream. So I either need to join somebody shouty live stream with the grid that looks like the intro of the Brady Bunch, or bring it to my channel in some capacity. I'm not really sure how to go. People are using StreamYard. There's other methods, but then my issue when it always comes down to trying to work out with anybody, in Kansas, everybody has a job except me. So I'm free to do all the project stuff on the internet. Everybody else, I gotta work, I gotta pick up the kids, I gotta go to bed, gotta cook dinner. Everybody has all this stuff to do. You can't find people to do this sort of stuff on a consistent basis. You can't agree to meet. You have to like sign a contract and have somebody ordered to cooperate with you to get anything done. New to here says, yo. I did see that you became a member. I am going to have to include your name on the next members video thank you card. So I'm up to 4. 4 people. 4 people get to see the director's cut reviews, and I have some things I've seen that are going to have, you know, the paywalled content. In particular, is it within? It's not within arm's reach. I kind of. I've shown you some of the stuff I picked up recently. Yeah, I'm going to watch what I missed, what I mossed in the stream, so I will be behind the content. Oh, you haven't missed much. Do you do movie content? Yeah, I do movie. Oh, nobody reviews movies like I do over here. I'm so like, I guess I could do a director's cut of this. Director's cut. So in the director's cut reviews, the stuff that damn sure isn't going to be monetized on YouTube, paywalled into the members only section, and I'm getting away with it. YouTube seems to be okay with my approach. The Protector, which I did last week, the worst Jackie Chan movie, that is the sort of thing that would shut down a channel if done in a callous manner. But somehow I managed to, you know, make everything intellectual enough. Missed, yeah, I know what you said, but I thought Most was funny. Yeah, I have. Man, how many movie reviews? Over 500 movie reviews. But the problem with YouTube movie channels, and I've been coming at them for this, is they've really gotten away from the review. YouTube is much more about gossip, casting rooms, and it's terrible. I've been wanting to watch The Protector. I heard was so unhappy with the American movies, they decided. Yeah, so I mentioned review, and the basic review with all the censored stuff is up on YouTube, posted last week. And I can't for the life of me remember if I watched The Protector before or after Rumble in the Bronx, because so much of the Jackie Chan stuff clicked in America at Rumble in the Bronx, and almost only because of the title of the movie. It's shot in what, Vancouver or something, or Toronto, and it's otherwise a Hong Kong movie. It's not an American movie, but boy did that click in America. And then after that, it was just like Jackie Chan's First Strike, Operation Condor. It just, everything just started to come on cable or VHS. We were renting all the Jackie Chan stuff from Blockbuster. Um, I was thinking about picking up the Operation Condor 4K. I don't know. It's been it's been 30 years since I've seen it. And I do recall that one being one of the better ones. I mean, the Jackie Chan formula being what it is, right? The trouble with the Protector is they didn't know what to do with him. They were like, give him the gritty cop, thing. Just, I gotta go on a chase, find the guys who killed my partner. Except in the movie, he gets the guys who killed his partner, so he's not really motivated by revenge. So it's like the screenplay just is lost. It's not a good movie. And the stunts are not properly showcased. Now, there's some impressive stuff from Jackie Chan in it, and that was my original takeaway back then on like basic cable with my grandpa. We just had it on one day, and we were both like, "Yeah, I like the stunts he did. Like, kind of seems like there could have been more of that, but that's the way that was." Operation Condor 4K, if I'm not mistaken, is not cheap. So, like, that's the problem with there. Some of this stuff, they let these boutiques like Vinegar Syndrome or somebody the hell else, I can't remember. And they just only a few of them, and then you just out of print after 600 made. And it's like, shit. I have 3 movies coming from Vinegar Syndrome, and are they set to go up in price? It's kind of like, okay, Wesley Snipes' Drop Zone should be coming sometime this month. It's not a super crazy popular movie, but simply because they're not going to make a bunch of them, 40 some bucks. But I don't necessarily go out of my way to buy something on disc that I think is streaming somewhere. And I've got some examples here. So I do need to get to doing some video on the fifth. And I've actually, yeah, it's kind of got a trick cover thing here with the paper, but been doing that for my next commentary track. I have a lot of commentary tracks, X, commenting there. I don't know if X is still here, but I do a lot of commentary tracks. I say a lot, but it's been a few months. The last one I did was Alien Romulus. When it came, a few weeks or so after it came to Hulu. And I need to get through some more of the Alien stuff because I've done several of them and maybe a few of the more Predator movies. After that, I'm not sure to what I would have a comment track on that I've seen enough. And I generally try to provide the commentary tracks to stuff that's streaming. So it's a commentary track, but it could be on Paramount Plus. But I'm topped out. The stuff that I grew up watching and know well and have a lot to say. And it'll probably be more of, here's a recent-ish movie I've watched. Deadpool and Wolverine. Let's do the commentary. Assuming you can watch that on Disney Plus, something like that. Well, I'm subbed and I will be watching some reviews, bro. Awesome. I read that as watching. It mentally meant as watching, even though you put I will be watch some reviews and then you correct it watching. I get you. So yeah, and a stickler when I started doing the reviews on YouTube back like 2008. And I ran my movie review stuff so serious for a few years. And then I had offbeat humor comedy sketches under another brand, and then I've eventually just kind of combined them, just under the idea of screw it, we're just doing it this way now. And it was weird because that earlier YouTube was very much about reviewing, and it was so hard to use clips and not get the ban hammer. I still get email notifications. You can't monetize your review of The Orphan because some dickhole newspaper claims copyright over it because their review also used trailer footage. So therefore, I must have stolen my review from them. I mean, clearly, they also use the trailer footage, which is provided for marketing purposes. Obviously, I stole my stuff from them, so I mean, it makes sense to me. And that's the way a lot of this shit was. To YouTube's credit, started to kind of realize, let's let people use some clips. Now, there are folks who are giving away the entire movie over the course of a 45-minute diatribe. I can kind of understand why they're getting a few things taken down. I don't feel bad for them because it's like, what did you think was going to happen? It's like that Pokimane chick over on Twitch who thought she could just watch Avatar and show it to everybody. Let's watch the most successful movie ever made, a stream, and see if that's not like then she has to play coy. I didn't know there was a law against that shit because now when you start movies, to her credit, you start streaming shit, it doesn't show the FBI warning label, or does it? I mean, it's just kind of a thing that only happened on physical media. Maybe that's what her lawyers said, right? Oh man, I've got like so much to have to get through here. Let me show you guys something. Hold on. No, the packaging alone. Okay, I can only show you the front. I think I did this last week, but something that's coming up. It's a tight. Hold on. Okay, so from Grindhouse Pictures or Grindhouse Releasing, I can't remember. They found a lost film, and I watched this about a week ago or something. And yeah, I know I'm so far behind getting stuff done, but praise from Sean Baker because it's about the porn industry and he's all about the sex worker, but also some interesting elements for a 1970s film worth talking about. But luckily I picked up pretty cheap on Amazon. Grindhouse Releasing would want like, 60, $40 or something if you're lucky. So I had a good deal going on Amazon for that. Worth talking about more than actually watching the movie. So that will be something I'm getting to. I have thankfully taken all my notes down on what things I say about some of these reviews, and I generally try to keep it pretty short, like under 5 minutes, because my concept review is much more like how Siskel and Ebert did stuff, and I've been watching a lot of Siskel and Ebert old clips, and it's just like, man, look at what we used to have. Dignified gentlemen talk movies and not spoiling them. I mean, that was an art form right there. That's the way I handle some of my stuff. But then at other times, I look at a movie and I think there's so much to complain about that is inherent to the plot that I have to point it out. When I was reviewing first release movies in the theaters, I really stuck to not spoiling things. And the majority of the damn comments that would come in is, you didn't even watch the movie. And it's like, oh, because I didn't spoil it, I must not have watched it. And I gave scores to the films like Roger Ebert. 1 out of 4 stars, though he has given zeros and a half. But so far, the lowest I do is 1. You get 1 if you have a damn title and someone can sit and watch it, I guess, in theory. But I don't think those channels. Spill Beyond the Trailer is doing some other bit now, where you would think with the money she has coming into her channel, she'd have some kind of production value, but it's. I exposed her ass for just going around interviewing people outside of movies. So, what'd you think of Tron Legacy? Oh, well, it was great. Next person, what'd you think of Tron? It was great. Like, and then calling you and getting the top search results on YouTube for a review that is not a review. And boy, did I take some arrows for that, because you can't go after a hot blonde chick from New York. You can't do that. So I was like public enemy number 1 on movie YouTube for a time. And then by the time people come around and go, you were right about that. By the time I get my my flowers, it's too late. Right. That's generally the way shit goes for me. Orca 1977 doesn't work. You root for the whale to get Richard Harris. I have not seen that. I know it's one of those in the wake of Jaws, Piranha, I did review all the Jaws films a few years back. Didn't give a super great treatment about it. I have considered doing a Jaws commentary track. I'll have to find to what service Jaws is on. Netflix added them all back, and they're probably gone by now. Netflix can't work a deal that lasts 60 days for a freaking movie. It's insane. Can you stream on your Xbox Series X on YouTube? No, not natively. You have to go through a PC. Don't PC. It's possible. You might be able through the service Streamlabs, then export the stream to YouTube in a way. But there isn't a YouTube gaming streaming app. So that's the only reason I'm doing Twitch. When I do those first impressions at random times, so I don't expect them. But if people subscribe or follow you on Twitch, I think they get an email notification you're going live. So there's that. But I like to do a first impression, and in some cases, some select cases, play through blind with maybe somebody trying to help me, some veterans. Oh, grab the hammer. You don't need the crank yet, sort of shit like that. But that is why I go to Twitch, because it's actually native on Xbox. I can sit in a damn chair and play the game on a TV, and it's really the only way that works. I wonder if Switch 2 would have this kind of, especially with Nintendo really not wanting you sharing your Mario gameplay enough, right? It's just ridiculous. What's going on with the thumbs up? We were at 2 thumbs up, guys, and now it's down to 1. The thumbs up button is free. Mash it until it asks you money or something. This stream lags worse than the prawn on American Pie 1. I actually seen American Pie 1. I've seen 2. And I know I've seen pieces of them around, but yeah, that's one that I don't know, I just kind of haven't gotten to. I think because it's like The Godfather, in that you heard so much about it that it probably spoils everything in a way. Was hoping that this wouldn't be laggy, or it would be clear. I don't have a lot to show you. It's not so much of a, let me pull up some article I saw on Comic Book Monthly and talking about oh no, the Fantastic Four are in trouble. Leaked footage of Galactus and he's a cloud again. Shit like that. I can't really understand how this is laggy. I've got the latest stuff. Fiber internet. Laggy. Just weird. But you got to do these kind of like vertical streams to get some views in. Otherwise, the algorithm just says screw you. It's kind of what it does. So yeah, it's kind of messed up. I'm going to have to keep taking note here. Actually, let me screenshot that. Orca from 1977 and American Pie 1. You know what, guys? I think I can do it. I think I can get American Pie 1 in the members section. Yeah, I think I can do it. I think Haywald member review. I think I can get away with it. My competitors don't do that. Hell, they don't review shit. They just keep making videos about rumors about the MCU. Please buy a laptop computer. No, like I said last week, I don't have enough money to lie to you guys. I don't make enough to have a gaming PC. I don't want to have this desk to do things that are not work. Like, to play a PC game, you are sitting at a desk like you worked at a cubicle. It's too similar. I want to sit in a big comfy chair, kick my back, recline, and own some noobs on Overwatch 2 or the like. That's gaming to me. To hunch over the desk with the board, it does it. It's not a fun experience. I think if I simply set up a StreamYard, is that it? And you got to get like $1 month for subscription. I'm sure they've upped the price. My podcast hosting thing's up the price. My mom's been lazy. We haven't done an episode week, although we did one Monday. So I guess we could probably wait Saturday. A laptop used to be like 500 Canadian dollars. A webcam, what am I kicking over here? $500. A webcam is affordable. I have a camera that unfortunately is limited to 720p in webcam mode, which is a bunch of bullshit. And Sony doesn't want anything about that. Instead, they came out with a new model, ZVE10 Mark II. If you want that higher resolution webcam mode, it's like, great. $1,000 camera for that, you know? But hell, you could probably actually do a lot of this stuff with RetroPie. Is it no Raspberry Pi? But yeah, with the Raspberry Pi, you could actually do a lot of this, right? Would it be laggy? I don't know. Do you know what OBS is? What the hell do you think I was doing the other streams on? The streams with the pictures and the graphics everywhere and shit. Now those were rock solid. They didn't have a bunch of dropped frames, I don't think. It largely worked, but you have to do this vertical live thing for YouTube to put in leads so people wander across your video. If you do it that way, I was doing that new to here. You probably missed the part where I'm this. We're doing it this way to see if I get more views because I'm getting under 100 viewers the last 2 weeks for the well put together streams. So now we're playing the way YouTube wants it done to see if that makes a difference. And that's, kind of just, actually I've got this little bulb here that I was trying to blow. I don't know if you guys can see this. In some of my videos, you can see like specks of dust in my mic's foam. I've taken it out, I've blown through it, and then I did another video and it just looked like there was more specks. So it's like, yeah, I can't win, right? There's just no win. And I've got some of this dust on around my lens. But yeah, I've tried the OBS thing. It can work. I've done some of those Dreamcast streams on Redream with OBS and had some dropped frames. And I think that it might have just been too much for to stream and run a Dreamcast emulator at the same time. You don't really run across the drop frame issue when doing the native app on Xbox. So there's, a trade-off. In that native app on Twitch will only do 1080p, 30 FPS. It won't give you you'll get at least the 60 FPS if you do PC. Like you have that but, may end up with some drop frames. And sometimes it seemed to be kind of random when that would happen or not. I couldn't tell if it was going to happen too much. But yeah, that's the way that goes. I do have quite a few things I'm reviewing. I'm going to really try to aim for a movie review, a streaming series review each week in some capacity. So this week was Devil May Cry, and that was doing pretty well for me. So I just said, get the first impressions in on a game and, come up with whatever reports I can off of the Devil May Cry stuff. So I've talked about the new metal being the disco of the 2000s and things like that. but I'm not sure what I will review next. I've got a couple of games I need to review too. I need to finish going through South of Midnight, and I am at a state where I am review Mullet Mad, Mullet Mad, Mad, Mullet Mad. I forgot the guy's name, but that's not even his name. Yeah, that game I did first impressions of, and I'm pretty decent at it. So and I completed it and stuff. So yeah, ready to do a review on that. I've got all the clips, so it'll probably be coming next week. And I'm not sure what movie. Maybe I'll shoot a review after this. You know, get my blazer on and doing a quick review. Maybe at least an Amazon pitch video for the Keanu stuff, right? I get you want to stream in the angle YouTube want to give you more views, but it ruined frame and lag terribly. Yeah, look, I have to set up just about as much equipment to do it this way as opposed to the good way. But if the good way brought, more people, I would be inclined to do it the good way. I mean, I think I'm doing YouTube's preferred method as good as they could have. I've got the backdrop, I've got the lighting, I've got a dedicated microphone for it. They should be throwing all the groupies at me, right? But it's really not happening. But hey, look at it like this. X over here subscribed, and now he's watching videos. I don't think that the good stream gets recommended to people. That is strictly you have subscribers who rang, they're going to be notified of your stream. So if you want to get more people to come streams, you got to do a few of these. Or be a guest on The Critical Drinker. Or Nerd Erotica, right? Like, you have to be at streams. Otherwise, it's just like there's only a few streams people tune in for and care about. And YouTube's going to make you feel like you're wasting your time. Why are you watching this loser when you could watch Nerd Erotic? They have Fridays. Why aren't you watching them instead? They have, 12 people who all agree with each other. That's what you should be watching. You guys going to be okay with this to an hour or so? The chat's been a little dry. And then I can, I don't know. I might have to sit and write a script for something. I was going to talk about, for an Amazon influencer video, the classic 80s anime of Anime Igo, available on Amazon, and I have three Blu-ray releases that that would fit, but I haven't watched one yet, so that's kind of the problem. And it is, let's see, do I have that here? No. Where do I, oh, come on. I thought I had all that stuff reach, but I don't. No. Riding Bean from the 80s. I haven't started watching that yet. I don't want to say anything about it in a video, even if it's one to be like, hey, buy this on Amazon, without seeing it. Speaking of Fridays, I get you. You're saying Fridays. I did advise you back in the day to try Saturday to see if that would help your numbers. Every time I try to do people's advice, it's like, hey, you should do this instead, and then it kills it. Hey, move your stream from 7:30 to 8. Okay, fine. Kills it. And then, like, everybody has to adjust. I could probably do something on a Saturday, like a game, first impression game stream, and see how that goes. To do this on Saturdays, my house is going to be a little bit louder for the time being. My brother is going to be off work, and he has to play D&D remote with people and yell and shake dice and shit. And it's going to pin the mics and whatever the hell else. But he's getting a job in another city, so that in a month or so might clear up. So we shall. move from fry dats to sat dats, dats, right? Could be a possibility. I mean, just the fact that anybody shows up and asks anything makes me feel like it's kind of worth doing still. Like, there's been times in the past where, you have a few people on the stream and I don't even want to shut it down because it's like, oh man, I don't want to leave with people still here. Like, then I think people picked up on me saying that. So what they do is they leave, be like, all right, actually leave. Then he'll stop. And it's like, yeah, that's one way to do it. Sure. Yep. One way to go about it. I had mics today for dinner. And I think we can all agree that maybe Danny DeVito is not a sandwich expert, but and that makes the sandwiches look huge, doesn't it? And I had the regular Philly cheesesteak as opposed to a giant. I've had their giant before, and it's like 3 meals of sandwich. Now, the regular, I did eat that in dinner. I probably could have put half of it aside and saved it for the next day, but I was like, I'm hungry. FFS. So is it really that laggy? Wow, the keyboard rage is real. The keyboard rage. The lag is literally my ability to type chat without lag. Okay, so it's too laggy. All right, well, I guess we'll wrap this up and see what the numbers are. Yeah, last thing, I'm thinking about recommending this to my folks to watch because it came back to theaters this week. And yeah, it's celebrating 40 years of Vampire Hunter D. Thing is, it's the best anime quality, not the best animation, but it was the first one I saw on Sci-Fi Channel Saturday Anime. But being that it's not the best example to be like, hey dad, this is what anime is, would I be better served showing him like a particularly good one first and then be like, oh, this was the first one, I try it now, or try to introduce him in like the order in which I saw stuff? That's the tricky part. And every time I keep thinking, oh, I'm going to show him that, and then I'm like, no, I kind of back out, kind of go, nah, that's yeah. All right, well, we're going to wrap the stream up here because it looks like you guys are seeing too much lag. So with that in mind, and it looks like I'm the only person on my stream right now, that makes a lot of sense, actually. We got one thumb. Can't even do this because we got one thumb up and a laggy stream in just over an hour. Yeah, if you made it, wait until marriage. Oh, now we have a viewer, huh? Yeah, look, I'm hearing it's too laggy, but only one person is saying it's laggy, which makes me wonder. But it could be because that's the only other person in the chat. It's laggy. Yeah, so, and now we're back down to one. Yeah, wait till marriage counseling.